Did you know that content creators and influencers can join SAG-AFTRA? This is something I recently learned, and my gosh, the benefits to this are really cool. So, you do not have to necessarily be an actor or a screenwriter to join. It does give you some really good perks and could potentially be something that you want to consider if you are an influencer. We're going to take a look at their website, look at their agreements, and a little bit of information about it to help you make the decision. Now, here's what you need to know. Beside the perks, it's actually very easy for you to qualify to be a part of this. So just because you think you have to be some big fancy person inside of the industry does not mean you should not be looking at this, because there aren't really big, high, lofty requirements to get into this. This is going to be valuable to you and me if you're newer to this, you're more established, or you are really well off inside of the influencer industry. This is a good opportunity for you to start thinking about it, potentially for now, definitely for later. Let's take a look at their website, and you can see all of this inside of SAG-AFTRA's website, as well as we're talking about their influencer do and don'ts and information about it. They do have resources and downloads on the right side of the screen, so you can grab that if you want to learn a little bit more. So it says, you're an influencer, you make branded content for social media. Now there's an exciting new way to cover your brand deals under a SAG-AFTRA contract. Not only will your work be covered, not only will your covered work count towards your eligibility for health insurance and retirement benefits, but you'll have guidance and staff support as you navigate this space. So let's check out their frequently asked questions. They say, what is it? A new influencer agreement lets your business entity, an LLC or corporation, act as the employer for SAG-AFTRA signatory. This covers you with a union contract whenever a brand hires you directly to produce, perform in, and distribute sponsored content on social media. So you cannot do this as an individual. You can do this as an LLC. You just have to register your business as an LLC. Your accountant can help you with that, and they can actually explain the perks and the benefits of doing that over sole proprietorship or some other form of corporation entity. They're going to be able to help you pick the best fit for you. So as long as you're an LLC or a corporation, you're going to be able to be a part of this. They go on to say, who is this for? If you're an individual who works directly with brands who hire you to create, perform in, produce, and distribute content through your own social media feeds, this contract is for you. SAG-AFTRA members can use this agreement, and so can influencers who aren't members yet. So look at that. They are giving us lots of ways that we can be using and working with this company already. So if you're creating branded content in any way, shape, or form, this is good for you. Now, of course, you have to make your own decisions on this. This is not going to be something that we just jump into. I'm not a member yet. I'm still going through the process of figuring out if this is something I want to do for me. I'm learning more about this, but it's important that we have this discussion because nobody ever talks about this. I did not know this was possible until a few days ago when I was talking to somebody who was a member of SAG-AFTRA. And they weren't even an influencer. They just told me that it was available to me, and I started to take a look, and this could be a total game changer for us. So how does this work? It's simple. You freely bargain the rates directly with the brand. They're not going to interfere on that. Once the contract is finalized, you use your business entity to sign up with SAG-AFTRA as the direct signatory for the project. This ensures the brand deal is covered and allows for your business entity to make pension and health contributions on your behalf. So we actually have access as members to this to potentially having health coverage and to have pension, because as content creators, we know that's a little bit hard to do on our own, right? We want to make sure we are taken care of later on in life. This is a really good opportunity for us because you can't find that other places. Is this agreement available right now? This has been in effect since February of 2021. It's been around a while, and we have not heard about this. I'm somebody who's heavily involved in the influencer community, and this is not something I have had a conversation ever on before until a few days ago. And so it's really important to make sure we're doing our research on this. So they go on to say whether or not your project is going to qualify. The requirements are that your influencer-generated sponsored content must be made for distribution on your social media channels, feeds, or your brand social media channels and feeds like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitch, those types of things. Your content must include an on-camera video and or behind the microphone voiceover performance. So this is not for people who are just taking photos. This is not for people who are doing UGC content. This is specific to you having to use your physical being as part of this video, either on camera representing your face or your voiceover behind your B-roll content. So it has to be you creating this and being featured in this. The third point is that you are solely responsible for the creative, production, performance, and distribution of the branded content, meaning nobody else is getting involved in this. You are the person who is doing this. You are not part of a team on this. You don't have other people helping you and working on this. It's not the company featuring you on this, because then that wouldn't count as you being that type of influencer. It goes on to say in point 4, you have a corporate or business entity, such as a corporation or an LLC. Again, sole proprietorship, not going to cut it for this one. You have a contract directly with the advertiser. So for that, you're going to have a contract with the advertiser. Those third-party influencer apps probably aren't going to cut it, because then they have a middleman. You have a contract with the middleman. They have a contract with the brand. This has to be you and the brand working and negotiating together and having those direct conversations without that third-party mediation in between. So you got to be very clear that you're working directly with these brands. And it doesn't have to be for everything, but the things that count are the things that you have to do individually on your own, cannot have that middleman involved with it. Number 6, you own the final content. You are not giving the rights away to them. So they can license the rights to the content, but you are not making things specifically for them. You are retaining your copyright over the content you're creating. And number 7, this is really important, it only qualifies if you are the only performer in the content, meaning you cannot have other people involved in this. Your child, your best friend, your coworker, your spouse, all of those things is not going to count if you are not the only performer in that piece of content that you are creating. They also went on to list reasons that it would not qualify. So your brand is the brand you're working with hires an ensemble or group for the project. So there's more than one of you. They're bringing in a lot of people for this. It's not just you. Your footage includes other people. We kind of just talked about that a little bit, but if you have other people in your footage, and I mean, background people probably aren't going to count. Like if there's people just walking behind you while you're out in the street doing some like live on location conversation, that probably won't be a thing. But if there's somebody else in it with you, then you have a little bit of a problem. Number 3, an ad agency, production company, or PR agency is responsible for the creative production or distribution of the content. So if it's not you doing the work, if you have a team, if you've got an agency, a production company, or a PR agency involved in this, it's not going to help you. Number 5 says your branded content footage lives outside of your social media or the brand's social media, things like TV or film. That qualifies for other parts of SAG-AFTRA, or not qualify at all, but it does not qualify you for the influencer part of this. They're very, very clear on what does and does not work here, and you have to make sure you adhere to that. So think about these things before you jump into something like this. They go on to say it features stunts or hazardous work. They don't want you getting hurt. So you have to make sure that you are qualified under proper things. If you do stunt work, I'm sure there's ways to have those conversations, maybe with companies like SAG-AFTRA or maybe not, but it's not going to account for the influencer part of this. And then number 7, and this is also very important, it includes nudity or sexually explicit materials unless directly related to the product. If you have questions on that, they're very good about answering questions. We've had conversations about SAG-AFTRA before, and they're very good about giving you information so that if you've got questions or you're not certain about things, you can reach out and get some answers and clarification on that. So if you're not certain about something like that, highly recommend you ask before you take action with that. So then it goes on to say, what if I'm working directly with a brand or agency that is SAG-AFTRA signatory, a company signed to the SAG-AFTRA 2019 commercials contract? So they go on to say, great question. If you're working with a signatory, the influencer waiver may be the right option for you. Click here to learn more. So you can see there's different options, different ways of getting involved. Now, of course, they do have memberships, they've got benefits, they've got news, they've got all of those things here. But this is going to be a really good foundation for what you need to be looking at. So there's membership benefits, there's all of the ALPs and things that you can be doing. Let's just kind of real quick take a look at some of these benefits, but you can do your own research on this as well. You can see there's health and pension retirements, there's the app, they have contracts and collective bargaining, so there's information about that as well. There's the conservatory, workshops, there's foundations, there's deals and discounts, there's resources, a lot of things that you can get as part of your membership to SAG-AFTRA. And as you're doing this as an influencer, this is going to be the opportunity to kind of expand what you're doing and think of your future as you are creating content, because we don't want to stay small-minded and just in the here and now when it comes to our content creation. We want to be thinking forward. We want to understand that as we're creating money now, we should be putting that aside for things like a pension or for healthcare or to get some of those extra benefits, and to have a really good, strong company behind us to help back us when things come up. There's a lot that goes into this and a lot of research you do need to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to link their website down below for you so you can learn more. I'm actively working right now to get some of their representatives on the show so that we can learn more about how we can be using this and how we can benefit from this. So if you've got questions, go ahead and drop those down below and start thinking about whether or not this is something you want to consider for the future of your career as well. And every single day, we're dropping brand new videos to help you navigate the world of social media marketing, growing your online business, and saving time, effort, and stress when it comes to your content creation so you can make this your most profitable year ever while you are living your best life because your business is not taking up all of your time. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.